I did 8 years. Different time. I got shot up twice. One time in front of my door, one time on a corner outside of 131st and 7th. If you ever been to Harlem, everybody know that avenue. But the one thing I came to really talk to y'all about and really get basically home with y'all is it ain't over, right? Whatever situation y'all been through, whatever situation y'all got going right now, this not permanent. This not just what it is, right? Right now, I be getting my little homies work, right? I give them jobs. I get them paid $30,000 with benefits. I get them paid jobs where they could go home and do something for themselves as they grow into society. But one thing I really need to know, how many of y'all are serious about your life? Let me just see hands. Serious about your life? Oh, yeah, that's a real question. So now another question I gotta ask you, how many of y'all, just be honest, are loyal? And if I had to pick you as a best friend or a homie or something like that, you to be the best person for me?
I don't know you.
Right, that's real, that's real. But it wasn't about if you know me, it was about if I had to pick you. I might got it all together, I might have money, I might be rich, I might not be a person in the street, but I need a best friend that's gonna keep it real and tell me the truth, right? So I'm glad everybody's hands went up on the part you're loyal, you're a best friend. How can we find out that you really are these things that you say you are?
No crime.
Huh? No, not a crime, hold on, King. Not a crime, but there's a thing that they use when you go into the job atmosphere, which is called a resume. You know what a resume is? Right, it's like a background check, right? What else it do, beloved? I saw your hand go up, King. What else the resume do? Okay, what else? What else? When you read a resume, what you reading it for? I'm reading it for your history. What your history is like. When you make a commitment to something, do you finish? Do you follow through? Or are you a quitter? Right? So, being that we don't have a life resume written out for y'all, I just wanted to see if some of y'all really loyal like you say you are, some of y'all best friend like you say you are. So this is one of the ways that we find out if you loyal or you a best friend. How many people in here listen to everything that their guardian, their mother, or their father tell them to do? Everything. Damn.
Once in a while,
We're not talking about once in a while. We're talking about straight 100. Now this is how you find out that you disloyal. 100%. And the reason why I ask this question is because a lot of times we don't deal with our life resume. We never break that ice to see who we really are. And a lot of times we get down with crews or gangs and we mess that whole cycle up because we ain't come properly prepared in it. So one, you're not loyal, right? You disloyal. How you know? Because a person that gave you life, that gave you substance, that made you the person that you are, to be able to be a big homie, to be able to be a best friend, you turned your back on them and you gave them your butt to kiss. This is why a lot of times, just came.
Some people don't got their parents.
That's why I said guardian. So guardian means somebody that might take the place of mommy and daddy.
What's my own guardian?
If you're your own guardian,
Yeah.
that's deep. Talk to me about it.
No, I'm not supposed to feel about that.
That's deep.
Yeah, I don't know you like that, so I can't talk to you about
You know me though, right? So I told you you could trust him.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
All right, let's let him finish.
It's all good. So once again, dealing with that reality and just learning that you know how you're a disloyal person, and now you want to come into contact of being a real official person. And the way that you go about being official, and being real is by one, first stepping out of the lane of knowing that you can do something, right? Because one of the things that you come into problems with is people trying to tell you that you no longer gonna be able to do nothing because you got a felony, or you've been locked up, or you've been incarcerated, and different things like that. I got 2 felonies. I've been locked up 8 years. I worked with Michael Jordan already. I worked with Carmelo Anthony. I worked with Chris Paul. I worked with Dick Gregory. I worked with Mace, Jadakiss, Jim Jones. Anybody you basically can name, I did security for it, and the only reason why is because I changed my life. I went from being bad news to being beloved. People wanted to know how come I became beloved. When I got shot up and I was laying in the street and they told me I was never gonna walk again and I was in that wheelchair with a colostomy bag, all the homies didn't look out. They couldn't stop the bullets from me. They couldn't change that music. The music was bad news is a person that gotta die. So what happened? The dude shot me up 3:30 in the afternoon. Then later on he shot me up again 8 o'clock in the morning in front of my door. The teaching, yes. Now this is the hard part. I'm feeling you right now. Listen, that is a good question. But the reality for me was, I wasn't even enticed to do a retaliation.
Oh, you wow.
Yeah, I was. I'm really wild. The dude right now still walk by me, and all he asked me to do is let him raise his kids.
Nah, his kid gotta go.
Shit, I used to be that way. Nah, but for real, that used to be the momentum that I used to live in. But then if I was living that way, then me and him never would be working together right now. His town and my town usually beef with each other. He from one project, I'm from another. Our projects came together through young dudes. Younger guys younger than y'all. And they call themselves St. Lincoln. So later on, me and him got together and we started working together on this because, you know, the one thing people don't tell you, how to get out this situation. Everybody show you how to get in. They show you how to maintain that status. They show you, yes.
You gotta find your own way out.
Sometimes it's not that simple.
That's how you got
Right?
in.
And
Hold
I
on,
give-
real quick. Listen, quick. That's how you got in.
Yeah, I found my way in. I'm gonna find my own way.
So, you said the way that you got in. So, you was born with a gun.
Oh no,
You was born with crack.
no.
So somebody put this in your hand, right?
You
So that's kind of
used it
like,
though.
real quick. So that's the person that got you in. See, the whole thing about it is usually the person that gave you the gun or the crack is the one that we looked up to. So they supposed to be doing what a big brother's supposed to do. But instead they told you, yo, you're gonna make some money, you're gonna get some Jordans, you're gonna get all this stuff. But they didn't say that you're gonna get 25 to life. They didn't tell you that when you get fucking 5 years in prison, why are you having sex with my homegirl? Why are you having sex with my sister? They didn't say that part, but they do. They didn't say that mommy was going to start dating her boyfriend and never write you. How come these people that said that they were supposed to be our big homies and our friends didn't tell us this part of the game? Y'all in probation now, so y'all know.
Yeah.
Where all the fake shit coming from? Why didn't you say this part?
Well,
But how come it's okay for them same people to say, listen, we got beef with this person, that's ride or die. So we still risking our life for these fools that lied to us in the first place. You understand what I mean? See, the whole thing is,
But Jay, tell them your background and what you did.
all right, pretty much. So I'm a blood. You know what I mean? I've been blood since I was 16 years old in Harlem. We take a lot of the principles from Chicago because my father was in the Nation of Islam. So I travel back and forth to Chicago all day long. Was raised kind of hard, you know. My mother and father both raised me in the house. The first person I seen shot was at 9 years old. I seen him get his head blown off, shake off, crazy on the floor, and blood just gushing out his face. The second time I heard about some real gun violence was my homeboy. My father didn't teach me how to play baseball. He did. I played Harlem Little League baseball. He was 12 years old. I was 12 years old. He showed me how to pitch. He showed me how to catch, and he showed me how to hit a baseball. He went to a project battle in the Barrel Park. It was Colonial versus Polo Ground. He went there, somebody threw a bottle, they didn't know who did it, they shot up the crowd, he got hit in the back of the head, 12 years old. So when I got the phone call from my coach saying that he was dead, I didn't know why. Because I thought when I was growing up that only bad people got shot. So when I asked my father, yo, why did he die? He told me, motherfuckers die all the time. I cried for like 2 days. You see how twisted it is? So I cried for 2 days and couldn't understand it. That kept happening over and over and over again. The first time I seen somebody smoke crack was my father. The first time I seen somebody shoot up, it wasn't TV, it was my father. The first time I seen a man cheat on a woman was my father. Now I love my mother, she raised me. We both was in the same household. But when she put me to bed, woke up in the morning, dropped us off at school. My father would come right from behind her, take me out of school at 6, 7 years old, and we would roam the streets. He would have sex with multiple women. He'd hustle. He'd rob people. He was good at fighting. He'd beat people up, get jumped. And I would see all of this stuff. All this stuff. It was like a routine. I remember one time specifically, he was selling oils. You know, he wasn't really into selling drugs a lot. He liked to sell oils for his habits. So he sold musk oil and all these different things in instance. So we walking South Bronx. He walking. It's about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. It's like, I'm not supposed to be out there, period. Kids is on an elevated train. You know what an elevated train is? It's the trains that's outside. You can see it. So what happens is in the Bronx, they used to be a little bit lower. They're throwing bottles off the platform. He said, yo, what the fuck is you doing? You see my kid out here. They said, what the hell your kid doing out there for? He said, don't get your ass beat up. So you know what they did? They trailed it. They climbed over the thing and trailed the elevated train. This is shit that they used to do back in the day. They trailed it and they jumped him right in front of me. I seen him spin on the floor. He's fighting like 3 of them at the same time. They rip his coat off. You know how it goes when you get jumped, you know what I'm saying? You can handle maybe 1 or 2 at the same time, but if they good at jumping somebody, it's going down. He's spinning, his back is spinning, getting scraped up on the floor. It's the winter time. I'm backing up like this, like not knowing what to do. I want to run, but I'm 6, 7 years old. I don't know my address. There's no cell phones back then. And after it was all said and done, he's beat up, knotted up, and stuff like that. He's like, yeah, don't worry about it. We get back home, and the first thing he does is, make sure you don't tell your mother what happened. Now, I'm 6 or 7 years old, learning how not to snitch. But I don't want to be in that situation again, and I know every time he picks me up, I'm going to be in that kind of situation. The first time I seen guns blow in the middle of the night and light up the sky, it looks amazing. You understand what I mean? It looks, no, it's not to laugh about. It looks amazing. Beautiful. Until it looks like lightning lighting up the sky. Until it hits somebody in the forehead. I seen that too. So before it rains and the thunder and it hits a certain kind of way and it sounds like gunshots, that nerve come over me. Because before it looked like something beautiful, but now when I see what it creates is a lot of damage. I've been through too much. I've been through so much that this is why my body looks like this. This is me burning myself. These are scars. These are me cutting myself. So what I end up doing was I went through a lot of mental anguish, right? And
can you explain what mental anguish is for them?
mental anguish. Some of the trauma I've been through, I can't digest. I'm beyond comprehending what happened to me.
So you traumatized.
Basically. Now, what I didn't realize is I was just like y'all. So I'm telling y'all for a fact, a lot of y'all are traumatized. And what happens when you don't realize you're traumatized, you keep adding stuff on top of it and it makes it worse than what it is. And that's what happened to me. So part of me telling you my story, part of him telling you our story, is to tell you before you end up like I did, stop. I'm gonna show you different ways to get the fuck out of it, but I need you to stop. So things kept piling up. You know, my home life, my report in the streets, hold on one second, different things going on. So what happened was I couldn't process things and I broke down a lot. Part of my breaking down was I like to hurt people. At times it meant somebody getting shot, stabbed, or anything like that. So what happened was I didn't want to do those things anymore. So every time I wanted to kill somebody, I cut. Every time I wanted to kill somebody, I cut. Cuts all up and down my body. All over my body. Now, when I went to war, I used to brand myself and go out and go to war. I am the person that y'all used to bump into that was the leader of the gangs in y'all particular town. That's what happens. You don't know that somebody like me is doing this kind of stuff. I sit back, I'm calm, I'm cool, everybody likes me, what's up, how y'all doing, what's going on? But as soon as I don't like something, as soon as I want something, I'm gonna take it the way I know best. And the way I know best is violence. So I have no problem, and I'm explaining something to y'all so y'all understand how serious it is. Y'all might not be thinking like that now, but believe me, there's some people in this world that don't give a hell about anything. We're not on that same level. Understand that, right? Yeah. Don't think of yourselves as no fucking monsters because you're not. There are monsters that's out there. Understand what I'm saying? Example, I know dudes that have hollered at girls. The girl has said no. So they toss her 9-year-old brother off the roof just because she said no. Or any other, it's not hold on, real quick. The scary part about it is, why would that be funny? It's sick. Because you imagine somebody is in the club with you that's like that? Now it gets kind of weird. Now, could you imagine when you get locked up and you got 5 years and this dude is your bunkie? Now you got to worry about sleeping with this freaking dude. Now what happens if he's a predator? What happens then?
Play 50.
Now you might have to kill him. But now you in there for the rest of your life. You know that, right? You hear what I'm saying? See, the whole thing is we all rolling dice. That's what we're doing. The whole thing is to beat the odds. So it's simple stuff that y'all can do to avoid some of these things that y'all go through. Y'all already know what's popping at. It might be that park, it might be that corner store, it might be that person, it might be this person. So you already know if you go with this particular person to a party, he might jump it off. So guess what? I ain't going with your ass to party. You know? I want to talk to girls. I don't want to shoot nobody, so I'm not going to the party with you. That's how I gotta go. You gotta be a man. Y'all gotta be men. I want to go to that store to get some chips. I'm not going to that store to get no chips because my rivals are there. I'm all right. I can go to my store. I can do that. But you know what? It's always somebody that gas it up. Yo, that's what we're going to the store anyway.
Yeah.
And then what happens is you see the same thing that happened in Tupac and Juice. He waiting for somebody to protect him, but he started it. Y'all know people like this that's in your circle. That's what I'm telling you. That's what you got to do. That's all we pretty much telling you. It's a choice you make. How many times, how many of y'all actually sitting here right now that could have avoided being here, right? But you listen to your homeboy who made the doofy ass mistake. It's like, yo, dude, what's up with you? Now, reverse it. How many of y'all would have done that to him? No, real talk. If you knew that your homeboy, if me and him is homeboys, and I knew as soon as we leave the house that we both gonna get 5 years apiece, what kind of friend would I be if I say, yo, listen, let's go anyway? You gotta start holding dudes accountable for that. So one of the biggest things with me is, yo, dude, if you got any kind of like drugs, guns in your car, don't put me in your car. Because when we get locked up, I'm gonna beat your ass all day long in that cell. Know that. If I get jammed up, I'm gonna have a problem with you. Y'all have to start holding people accountable like that. If I'm with you and you just robbed somebody, why are you on the corner with me? Dude come around the corner and start letting off shots and somebody get hit. You did it. Take your ass home. Why are you coming around me? Y'all gotta start talking to your friends like this. That's the only way to change certain things. You understand what I'm saying? But how many of us had this kind of conversation before we leave the stoop? Or do we just say, hey, let's go play basketball in the park?
Let's go play basketball in the park.
Right. Y'all gotta start having these conversations, man. And sometimes you're gonna find out who real and who ain't. You're gonna find out who real and who ain't.
When you get into that gym.
Right. But who the hell wanna find out after we facing 5 years, knowing he ain't gonna take the blame? How many dudes did that?
Or they start snitching on you.
Right.
I know what you're talking about.
And it gets stupid. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, every old head that's in the joint, anybody that did real time, anybody that's actually gang banging for real, tired of it. Anybody will tell you, suckers, jail's for suckers. Any dude, 25, jail is for straight stone cold suckers. It's always been that way. For stone cold suckers. It ain't for nobody else in there. That's what it's made for. It's made for suckers. Now, do we have to go through it sometime? Yeah. Do we have to? No. Y'all already know we ain't got to. But some of it is pride. Some of it is that sturdy way of thinking. So I told y'all bits and pieces on how I grew up. So I thought a lot of things was right. I remember when I was young, I used to look up to dudes that did time in prison. So dude come home for doing 20 years. Damn, man, he did 20 years. I want to be just like him. I know, but that was the dudes we looked up to. I didn't know that within the 20 years, 5 years, five of those 20 years, he might have had a hard time in prison. You know? They don't say that part. The only part they talk about is, yeah, I was running the yard, I was doing this, and this. But it's like, yo, what happened to your back? Why you got 180 stitches on your back? No, it happens. And it don't gotta happen to the weakest person. You could be strong. Most of the time it happens to the strong ones. When you come in strong as a strong individual, like yourself, you got a strong personality. So you know what happens? When you enter the tier, dudes get jealous. I'm gonna tell you right now from the rip. Me and him gonna talk. Listen, dude right there, he probably can rally up too many dudes within a month. You're gonna have people popping real quick, or for you alone, your mentality. This is what we watch. We sit back and watch it. So you know what's gonna happen? We send testers all day long. You know what I'm saying? I could pay the sexual predator and wing D to come fuck with you while you in the shower, mess with you, so you can get into a fight. Boom, 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 boom. While you in the hole, you come back out, all your shit is gone, robs you. Now you're acting up on the tip. I'm telling you how it plays out. I'm telling you a fact on how it plays out. I seen dudes do stuff like that to people over visiting because they didn't like the way their girlfriend looked and their girlfriend looked better. I'm dead serious. Am I lying?
Yes, no.
It's stories upon stories upon stories. Big, well-known names, gang leaders got mad, take babies, throw them against on the visiting floor, rip up the wife. Yo, listen what I'm telling y'all. See, it's funny because, you know the weird part about it is that y'all been in the streets and no one has told you these stories. That's the messed up part about it. The next time, as soon as y'all around y'all peers and y'all go home and y'all around some of these old heads that's supposed to be teaching you something, ask them why they didn't break down some of these stories. Ask them. Because it's kind of weird. You know how many dudes come home from my project? Did 15, 20 years, 10 years here, 10 years here. Yo, listen, I ain't having a problem in prison, this. And they ain't had no problem in prison. You know what I mean? They playing up on the culture or how they this and how they that. And what happens is when they come in, we have a big prostitution problem around my way, over near Park Avenue. Big prostitution problem. You know, it's a lot of junkies, a lot of everything. You know, it's heroin is real big around that way. So what happens is we also have a large population of transvestite prostitution. Now, this is what happens. Huh? Yeah, that's what a lot of. And and real talk. Listen. I'm gonna school you real quick. So what happens is a lot of kids your age, so they not with that. So we know what happened, right? The young kids from the project your age, they beat them up. Boop, 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 boop. They beat them up. And you know what happened? They got shot, executed. You know why? Because that particular transvestite and prostitute was bringing $600 to $800 to the drug dealers in that block every day. You can't touch him. Now we're talking about leadership. The stuff that y'all not yet receiving. The dudes that run stuff, I'm telling you, I have sat down and had meetings and conversations with rival gang members about what we're gonna do with our sets on the streets. Now, we don't throw no blows, no shooting, no nothing. We leave that to y'all. You understand what I'm saying? We go to war like this first. This don't work out? Cool, I'll see you later on. But y'all gonna be killing each other. I'm telling you a fact. I tell you no lie. I seen dudes get ripped up from shred to shred. Their family members get raped on the outside from nothing but a letter. Don't let these dudes lie to you. The reason why I'm good, I'm not afraid to say this shit, is because I actually live the real life. The ones I'm talking about, those are my peers. Those are my peers. Nobody afraid for them. Nobody's afraid of them. My whole thing is, I need to save y'all. So I go to war with them for y'all. None of y'all OGs have done no shit like that before. None of them. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. I went to prison so you don't have to go to prison. I got shot at, my lip bit off, stabbed up, so you don't have to go through it. So the fucking old, your brother, your older brother, your OGs, your old heads was supposed to do better for y'all. They didn't. So now I'm here telling you better. I ain't trying to get all emotional, sad, upset about none of this stuff right here. I'm telling you I need y'all to make it. I didn't come away from Harlem to hear no garbage. I'm telling you because I need you to make it. If y'all don't make it, I promise you, you're going to find somebody like me that's on the inside that's not feeling the same way I feel. They're going to want to take. That's what they're going to want to do. They're going to want to take. So whether he's a pedophile, a child molester, whatever, he's going to take. Because guess what? He's crafted his skill. Think about it. If you was in prison for 20 plus years and you already did 15 years in, how dangerous would you be? Think about yourselves. If you did 15 years in prison and you was in here already and you had 15 years to craft your boxing, your knife game, cool with the guards, cool with the hotel, how dangerous would you be? Now imagine a kid that's just in here for 6 months. You chew his ass up and spit him out. Am I right?
I'll bring him under the wing.
Or bring him under the wing. But guess what? That's rolling dice again. It depends on the first impression. Because everybody tell you, the first impression in prison is how you're going to leave that prison. That's a fact. That part has never changed. So I have been in a prison system before. I've been on the streets before. I've bumped into cops before. And guess what? The same way I treat them, the same way they're going to treat me. It's always been respect. So we can't be whining either when somebody get their head split open. Dude, if I got a gun and I see a cop and the cop sees a gun, I'm expecting to get shot. My peoples are not going to riot and act a fool because they know how I was living. You understand what I mean? So all of that, we're not going for that one. I don't want Black Lives Matter protesting because guess what? Half the time, I was doing shit. I got away with a lot of stuff. So if I got hurt on the outskirts, I deserved it. And I understand that. Now, I'm not saying abuse your power. No one is saying that. But I'm saying we own up for what we got to do. This is why you're comfortable in the situation you're in sometimes. Dudes that are innocent are never comfortable. If you were innocent and you was locked up, you'd be mad as hell. You would not be able to chill, would not be able to think right or anything like that. But when you did it, we chilling. Hey, yo, we on the team, we acting a fool. The day room on down from the yard. That's how we act. Because we know we did it. We trying to get off and get the time shaved down. This ain't about that, though. My whole thing is too much out there. So you could be just as gangster as you want to be and save lives. See, the whole purpose of what y'all doing is whatever you're a part of, you want to grow. So there's two ways to do that. You can protect, snatch lives for it, or save lives for it. And guess what? Hands down, saving lives always wins. So the biggest thing I did for my game was I saved lives. I come out to y'all community and save lives. So wherever y'all from, 4 or 5 years, I see y'all from now, y'all can be like, yo, what up, Jay? I'm like, what up? And whatever block y'all from, I'm good at. You know why? Because I know I'm talking to men. Y'all men, and wherever y'all from and where y'all live at, y'all gonna be good at. So if y'all good there, I'm good there. That's how you survive all through state to state and hood to hood. You dig what I'm saying? That's the only way you survive. That's why I'm good to go anywhere in this damn country. Any hood. Y'all gotta remember that. Half of the stuff that y'all going through, y'all gonna have to go through. Y'all from Passaic, right? Patterson.
And Passaic.
Y'all from the Patterson Passaic area. So listen what I'm saying. One thing that we talk about a lot is you can't claim Harlem unless you can walk from block to block in Harlem. If you can't do that, you gotta claim your block. So it's an honor to claim Harlem. Just like it should be an honor to claim Passaic or Patterson. But the only way you can claim it is if you can go outside your house, no gun, no knife, and walk from block to block to block. Until you can do that, don't claim Patterson. claim your block, and work on getting that done. But this is how you do it though. This is how you do it right here. Because y'all all not from the same block. So if y'all good, y'all can mingle amongst each other right here, y'all be the strongholds. So when y'all go in the street, my homeboy good. I don't give a fuck who was beefing before I was locked up. He good now. Because it's funny. Y'all could be from different hoods, but y'all fight with each other against something. But when you go in the streets, y'all let y'all homeboys who wasn't in a situation say that y'all can't be friends. That's no more. No more. Y'all come back with the story. He was down for me and I was with him. We all good. He won't be able to go to this corner store like I'm gonna be able to go to that corner store. That's how you get it like this. It makes your homeboys hesitate before they want to do something stupid because they're gonna make you mad. They living off of y'all reps. Listen what I'm telling you. When they in the street, you know what they saying? Free my bro, free my bro, free this, free that. You know what? They getting likes behind it, they doing this behind it, and people loving it. You know why? Exactly. Because the reputation of whatever y'all claiming lives on through stupidity. So the more shootings, the more y'all get locked up, cool. Free my man, free my man, free my man. Oh yeah, it must be real over there. But they ain't seen you not one stamp. They using your name for being locked up, for putting in work for the hood, for protection. I could wear free this person, rest in peace this person, and they use it for protection. It's a way to claim and not claim the hood at the same time. They using your name while you're in prison to get away with murder. And when you go home, they give you nothing. When you were locked up, they didn't even send a letter. It's not everybody though. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, I know. Then when I come home, don't fuck with them. Cut them off. Straight like that. It's easy.
But that's your block.
Cut their ass off. Tell your big homie, kick them off the block. It's easy, bro.
You saying it's easy, right?
Yeah.
So my whole thing is cool. You saying it's that easy. So the big homie is on the block and he got about 4 or 5 siblings, right? My brother right here is soft as hell. My brother right there is soft as hell. I got a sister that's good right here, and I got a brother that really rock and roll. So my 2 brothers that's soft as hell, they are part of the crew that you're talking about. Kick them off the block. You know they're not going nowhere, right? You know why, right?
Because your brother is good.
Right. And you know what? And it always happens that way. Usually the weakest person is the one that's protected the most, and you know this. Just like you know, if you was 4 or 5 of you, y'all might be ready to fight. Y'all might be ready to die. But you always got those 1 or 2 fools with you that's soft as hell, and they the ones that be starting to fight. That's what we always said, the good die young. It's always the thoroughbred one that gets killed. Because it's a weak dude out there setting you up. He not thinking like how y'all think.
Jay, yeah, look below.
Now, just to add on, man, right now we in the part where we helping young dudes like y'all be able to do things for yourself. You don't have to have a big homie. And if you do got a big homie, give him a break. He ain't been doing a good job. Your life is worth so much to us, man. And another thing that you can also look at that's real good for y'all is the place to start right now. This dude is like my best friend, my brother, but it took me 38 years to find him. Dudes in my projects couldn't give me 30,000. They couldn't get me 35,000. I had to step away from them. Right now, like I told you, I'm the one. Me and him, we get called to the hospital. When somebody's shot in the face, stabbed up, they call us to the hospital. I'm talking them down from doing retaliation. I'm the one calling they big homie, yes.
How you gonna tell somebody like stop retaliating if
That's
they gonna
right.
keep coming for you?
Right, the whole thing about retaliation is not about telling anybody nothing. It's about just letting them see its odds. So if you shot and you laying in the bed and they telling you you might be paralyzed, that means somebody gotta push you. But if I'm beefing with you and you know that you're gonna be in a wheelchair, it kinda help you think now, which one of your people's gonna be your first pawn? Is it mommy? Is it your baby? Is it your girl? Or is it your right-hand man that you told every day that you love and you wouldn't let him feel no harm? But today is his last day living because he got to push you and be a victim. You got a choice.
And he doesn't understand the concept. So part of the reason why we're able to do what we're doing is because, like we said, we claim one Harlem. So we're good on every block in Harlem. So if your crew shot his crew, I'm in the hospital with his crew, but I know y'all both. I know exactly where it came from. You already know me. The same I'm talking to you, I've been doing this for maybe 2 or 3 years with you already. So when I come to you, it's like, listen, he don't want no issues, no problem. That shit is dead, right? You gonna tell me, for sure, I got it, no problem. Easy.
And the reason why it's easy like that is because also at the same time, some of the people be innocent bystanders. It wasn't really meant for him anyway.
Right.
But you didn't know he was crippled blood. I didn't know he was down with a crew. But just because you didn't know that don't mean like right now, in the next few words that you say, you can't stop that murder or that kidnapping or the situation that's about to take place.
But everybody don't wanna hear that.
No, see,
No, see, now I'm gonna give you a lot. See, I dealt with probably 2,000 people already. I had a team, and out of 2,000, I'm gonna say like 1,500 literally didn't do a retaliation. And the only reason why is because, like I said, none of y'all really go outside saying in your head, I wanna be dead today. You don't wake up saying, you know what, I'm gonna get fresh to die. Today is that good day. I'm gonna get with Shorty, I'm gonna knock that down, I'm gonna get this loud in me, I'm gonna drink my little Ciroc, and then I'm gonna go and get murdered. No, when you wake up, you like, yo, I'm playing a game, I gotta win. How do I win this game? You can't win the game if you keep dealing with the same people, places, and things. So now you gotta switch it up, you gotta talk to him. He know me. You never gonna get to know me because you always been with your kids, you always dealt with your people. He dealt with me. So now here is his time to get the opportunity to be able to talk to me. And you know what he gonna say? Like he said, yo, beloved, yo, I looked out for you on a situation, so can you look out for me and make sure the situation don't happen? And I might be like what you saying. I don't wanna hear that shit, man. I don't wanna hear that. Bloodshed, my homie hurt, I don't wanna hear none of that. Then he gonna bring me a reality. Remember that time we were shooting, he was talking positive, and that old lady said she loved everything about you? Remember what she told you that night? And she told me that I was the one that put a hole in her shoulder.
right.
But what happened?
Here.
She said she loved everything about you.
Right, she was talking positive of me, but didn't know when I was young, I made her put a hole in her shoulder by shooting at some dudes. I almost killed my older brother and all that. So now this is the reality. He's talking to me. I want to get a mediation, but the one thing about the mediation, neither side got to be a punk.
Right.
You ain't looked at no punk, no other crew looking to come in on y'all. They looking at it like, yo, y'all must got a big scheme ahead. And then at the same time, with that murder and that body down, nobody want to play with the trauma that's coming out of it.
Right.
So you got a chance. Right now, y'all got a chance. Y'all spoke to one of the realest dudes that I ever had to deal with. I went looking for him for 5 to 6 years. Because the real big homies that everybody was looking up to couldn't get a package, couldn't go visit them, couldn't stop the homies from in there popping on. Because the street group is one thing, but it's another group you got to deal when you get in there. But the one that kills me is when the mother got to travel 9 hours to go visit you, then she got to travel another 8 hours to come back. And now it's like, what's going on?
Right. What was it?
Where's the homies that you gave all your time to? Where's they at?
Yeah.
Hey Jay, you think you could talk to break down some, like when we say mental illness, like sometimes the kids get a little turned off by that term, but can you you guys break down what we mean?
Got you. So part of the things that I got diagnosed with at 19 and 20 years old, I got diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia and manic depressive bipolar. I did a lot of drugs in my life, a lot of drugs. I always wished and told myself that I would never do heroin, never do crack, never do weed, never do those certain things because my father did those things. But my back was injured from since 15 years old with arthritis, and I took pills, and the pills had opium in it, and I abused it. Right, so indirectly I was a heroin addict. So I'm using it 24/7, and I'm in the streets. I'm going through trauma. So what I used to do was, I numb my pain. I forget. So what happened was, more and more things started to happen. Probably one of the most crucial things that happened to me was, my homeboy, who I was real close with, got shot. He got shot in the top of the head, and he died. But he was killed by my other homeboy, who we was all crew together. He killed him, and then he went back to his hospital and hung himself. So this happened within like the a day and a half, 2 days, and I got caught with the body. You know what I'm saying? I just got my lip bit off. You know, all this is happening all at once. You know, within like a 2-week span. The next week, I gotta go to 2 funerals. One is on Wednesday and one was on Friday. Now, word had got out that one had killed the other. So his family members, who are real strong in Philly, was saying that whoever shows up to the one who killed them funeral, we're gonna spray up on site. But they both my friends. They both dead. So I went to one where the mother was screaming from the top. She heard I was there and was screaming from the top. I know this murderer motherfucker didn't come to my son's funeral. They had to beg me to leave. I was so mad, I could have strangled his moms. Because I was the one with him. When dudes want to kill him, I'm the one that hurt other people so they won't kill him. It was out of my hands how he died. But she was convinced that I had something to do with it. So they begged me. I said, you know what, I had no problem, and I left. I went to the next funeral, the one that they threatened and told me I wasn't supposed to be at, or nobody's supposed to be at. And when I went there, I think that hurt the most because it was all these seats there, but it was only 3 people there. His mother, I think, and like 2 girls. The only people that came with me was 3 girls from the college. All the dudes were scared. So when I went there, I had a gun on me, and I went there. I seen this guy there I never seen before. Later found out he was a grievance counselor. I never knew grievance counselors existed. That's one, you know. So when I went downstairs to use the bathroom, I put the gun in my mouth. I took a lot of pills, put the gun in my mouth, and I was ready to blow my brains out. But then somebody came in the bathroom and distracted that. I came back upstairs, and he gave me his card and was like, listen, you know, we talk to you later on. So he was the first time I talked to somebody about what I was going through. Now, when I talk about mental health issues, those are issues that we all go through. Y'all understand that, right? That ain't got nothing to do with being depressed. Like, it ain't got nothing to do with saying you're a psycho or crazy and shit like that. This is real shit. What happens is, it's warfare. When you're on the streets, it's warfare. A lot of people don't like to give us our credit, but if you're in a crew, in a gang, if you live in the street life, you are at war. You know, that's why we call it, we riding out. We at war. We go to war with crews. We don't do it for play, we go to war. And however long it takes, it takes. So what happens in war is, once you see people get shot, once you see people dying, once you see going to funerals over and over again, at your ages, at the age I was, it does something to the psyche, and it makes you desensitized. So you can see certain things that that's not there. You see certain things that other people don't see. So what happens is, you will date somebody, you date a girl, who ain't never been through what you went through. She might see somebody getting shot at. You know what you might do? You might laugh. Right. She's gonna look at you like you're out your damn mind. And this is what bridges the gap between people like that and you. And what I'm trying to say is, right now at this age, it's okay. But when you get older, nobody will deal with you. They didn't deal with me. And I had to realize that something was wrong. The way that you desensitize, nothing is normal about it. When y'all get to other places in the world, y'all gonna realize that when people die, you don't wear it on your chest and chains like that. You don't represent it in glory like that. It doesn't work that way. Some of the stuff that y'all going through, I went through myself. So when I say mental anguish and mental healing, it ain't got no choice but to happen.
So can we take the rest of the time? Like, can we ask if they have questions?
Yeah.
All right. So if anybody, or if you have questions for them.
Go ahead, bro.
How did you become blood?
I mean, how did I come in? How did I get in?